As drones get smaller and more intelligent, we've looked forward to the day when you can just get a drone to follow an adventure or dual sport bike independently. No drone operator, no setup time, and small enough to carry in your backpack. Some viewers may remember I bought a Skydio drone 3 years ago. It cost a small fortune to have it sent to Australia, and I was massively disappointed. They claimed it was almost crash proof, but it crashed often enough that I couldn't risk filming in our forests. It was too bulky to fit in a backpack, and fellow riders would get annoyed with all the setup time and trying to find it when it got lost. Enter the HOVERair X1 Promax. All this footage was filmed with this tiny foldable drone that fits in a pocket, and it was all filmed without connecting with the accessory beacon, controls, or my phone. It's not necessarily perfect for adventure riders, but it appears to be the best solution yet in this price range, around 1,000 Australian dollars or 700 US. This is just a preview. We are planning a detailed review featuring all the pros and cons after much more testing. There are other drones which are now very capable at autonomous flight, but there are several features that stand out with the Airhover X1 Promax for adventure riders. First, it's tiny and foldable. The drone can fit in a large pocket, a tank bag, or your backpack. Second, it's tough. All the propellers are enclosed by a very tough plastic frame. It's light enough to survive crashes and drops, and the camera is tucked away neatly to avoid damage to the gimbal. Third, it only takes about 20 seconds to set it up. Just turn it on, select the automatic flight mode, start riding. When you want to stop, just cross your arms, put your hand under the drone, and it lands. How simple is that? Next, you have about 10 automatic flight modes to choose from, so you don't need to learn any fancy flying skills.
Follow. Zoom out. Hover.
And finally, if you want to have some control over the drone, then there is co-pilot mode. You can connect the drone to your phone and tell the drone what to do, and the camera will stay focused on you. For more control, you can also buy the beacon and joysticks to extend your range and fly manually. We will report on that later. What else do we like? The 8K resolution is huge and lets you zoom in. Otherwise, you can film in 4K and use HDR. This is very useful in high contrast settings with sun and shadows. We expected much of this footage to look terrible due to the contrast of harsh Australian sun and shadows. The HDR really makes a difference. There is no account registration needed. Personally, I won't buy Insta360 cameras because you can't operate them until you give them all your personal information. What are the potential issues? The Airhover Promax mainly relies on visual cues to try and avoid obstacles, but it has trouble detecting small branches. Also, there is a sensor in the rear of the drone to detect obstacles when it's filming you from the front, but just be warned that doesn't always work. The speed. It flies at 42 kilometers an hour and up to 60 kilometers an hour in bursts. So the HOVERair works well at the lower speeds, but if you ride faster, it gradually drops behind and will eventually lose you. The battery life is around 12 to 15 minutes, which we found is plenty for our filming needs, but you'll probably want to stop at the 10-minute mark to change batteries to be safe. The price. Well, we think it's well priced for all the features. However, there is a cheaper option. HOVERair also has the more basic X1 Pro, which is a few $100s cheaper. It has a smaller Wi-Fi range, more basic collision avoidance, only 4K resolution, a smaller image sensor, and less internal storage. The DJI Neo drone is cheaper and is quite similar in some respects, but we felt its lower speed and poorer tracking abilities made it unsuitable for motorbike riders. Let us know if you use it and found it better than our research suggested. That's all for now. We are keen to thoroughly test it more and get back to you with an objective review soon.